Good morning. Topic today is what to plant to recover from failed food plots, what to add to them at what times, and at how much seed rate. So this week is what I like to refer to as the inspection week. A lot of thoughts, a lot of concerns going around that a lot of calls coming in that either we have went out and helped you inspect your plot to try to figure out what happened, that when the customer had planted it that it didn't work, or just trying to add a little bit more of a filler. So a couple things could have happened there. What we see a lot of this time of the year is overbrowsed plots. That's why you've heard me do many videos back to back in regards to not overdoing summer food plots. And those plots are okay, establishing new herds and trying to get a pattern created, and then trying to step back. What we do is I always step back and try to figure out what is where your money is best spent in those food plots after they're created and after those deer are accustomed to using them. And because of that, brings us to where we're at this week. You don't want to get to a situation. Your goal is not to be in a situation where you get to the middle of September going into the last around the youth hunt weekend and staring down the barrel of October 1st and not have any food left in your plots as far as greens. So right now the push is greens. Before, it may have had a little to do with grains. Obviously your grains all had to be planted in the spring. You're not going to be able to plant those now and gain any ground with them. So now it's green. Everything is focused on green going into the fall. So what do? I recommend winter wheat or winter rye. I'm sorry, winter wheat as a second, winter rye as the first. And the reason that I say winter rye is because, especially here in our northern climate, and from here north, is it's tested that it will germinate in lower temperatures down to 30. I think it's like 35 degrees or something that they've found. So what we like to do is go in, inspect, or help or look at these plots for you, or recommend what you do. Is it's not too late to gain some ground here to salvage the greens going into fall. You have to take advantage of it and do it now. So what I would recommend is this. Depending on what's in your plot, if it's a bean stubble right now because all the deer ate, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of soybeans in a food plot setting unless we're talking acres and acres of them. And the reason is they will not only eat on a large ag field. You'll see those inside corners of these bean fields destroyed, and when you're only planting a half acre, an acre of them, there's nothing left come this time of the year. Very expensive to plant and very expensive to maintain because of the fact that you have to go back in and do what we're talking about right now. You have to interseed them. So what we like to do is go in on these plots and recommend this winter rye. So gauging on what you have left, if you have brassicas that didn't work, for example, or brassicas that are sparse, this time now you should have planted those the end of July, first week of August, and they should have taken hold by now if your pH and your soil type was right, and they should have got you to a point where you have quite a bit of green and quite a bit of bulb growing in the ground. Now, if it's sparse though, and the deer are already maybe starting to pick at it a little bit, now is the time to interseed about 100 pounds of winter rye. And by doing that, you don't by doing that early, you stand a chance of choking out your brassicas, and that's why we don't ever recommend planting rye, especially ryegrass. Don't ever plant ryegrass in that situation. Don't plant it too heavy when you initially plant it because it will overtake and it shades out and it doesn't work well. So now is the time to go back in there though and to promote some of that green in those spots that didn't work, or if you missed a spot with a seeder, or whatever the case may be, go back in and put these in. If you really need the help and it's really sparse and you really need some green, you know, the charts like on our plot master, I think the rye is about 120 pounds per acre or whatever it is. I would go about 200 pounds per acre, and the object is with that is you're not going to get the height this time of the fall, because you have I mean, it snowed in Jackson Hole last night, so it's on its way. The cold temperatures are coming, cooler temperatures are coming, and you're not looking to get that tall. It's a filler. It's not so much the tall plant right now. It's just a base and a filler. What that base and that filler is going to do, it's going to take some attention off your brassicas until they're right, and it's going to salvage, make that good solid base in your plots. So everybody kind of a lot of times frowns on rye. I'm a rye planter in the right time of the year. I'm not a rye planter early. I'm a rye planter so it gets to if it gets to a time of need, or on a setting where a budget just doesn't permit heavy brassicas. You're not going to get the tonnage off from rye as you will with a brassica, but if there's nothing left and it's getting go time, it can still be done. And if you plant it now, and it looks like we've got some more moisture coming here down the pipe towards us. So if you plant it now, you should be able to get 3-4 inches of solid mass underneath those plants, or in a new plant or a new plot or plot area that you're trying to salvage. And I think it will really help. So don't believe the myth of it's too late to plant a food plot. It's too late to start a food plot, but it's not too late to save a food plot. Thanks, guys.